Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be reacting to some of the viral items that fashion influencers seem to love. These are pieces that when you're scrolling through your Instagram feed, you see time and time again on everyone. And I wanted to make this video not only because it's fun, but also because social media, more than any other type of media, in my opinion, has the power of making you think you want something that you don't really want. You see it on someone whose style you admire, and you then see it on another someone whose style you admire, and then everyone says it's the it piece to have, and you see it styled in so many different ways, and you end up convincing yourself that you too need it when you actually don't. And these are mostly quite expensive pieces, so you're spending a pretty penny on something that you would otherwise not pay too much attention to. So it's a great exercise to be very analytical about it, really look at the pieces for what they are outside of that context, and really make sure it's something that you want to invest your money in. Beginning with one that kind of breaks my heart a little bit. It would be the Elsa Peretti Bone collection for Tiffany's. This has been on my wish list since middle school. I used to put it in my little mood boards of what I would get when I became a very famous fashion designer. That fantasy has not come true. But it just had this appeal to me, whereas for all of my friends that really wanted the Tiffany locket, like with the little heart pieces, I hated them. I wanted a bone cuff, and I felt like that made me so special and so like in the know. Never got it, and I feel like Tiffany's has been making an effort with a lot of campaigns, especially influencer campaigns, to popularize it. And it just lost a bit of its appeal to me. Before, it was very much an insider piece, and I'm not saying I'm an insider, but it used to have that sort of underrated kind of, if you saw someone sporting it, it was because that person wanted to be original, didn't want what everybody else has. And now it's just everywhere. Once you start rising in popularity, you start seeing dupes, you start seeing low quality copies, and it just loses that kind of rarity of availability. So I don't know, if I had the budget right now, I would probably go for something like the Tubogas Bulgari collection instead, which is just as iconic, has that fashion history behind it, but it's less diffused. It's giving kind of Cartier love bracelet a little bit. Second piece would be the Row Margaux bag. And just like with the bone cuff, it has been seen on the most stylish celebrities and influencers. But what I find interesting about this piece is, unlike Tiffany's, who has infinite marketing budget, the Row is very discreet in its communication strategy and how they decide to sort of market their products. So I don't think these women are being sent these bags and paid to wear them. I think they're actually buying them and wearing them as a sort of trophy, as that piece kind of rite of passage item that shows that you know about it, that you're kind of in the club of the people who own it. They're even calling it the new Birkin because of how expensive and how exclusive it is in a way. Would I add it to my collection? On one side, again, it worries me a little bit to spend so much money on a bag that everyone is wearing. But on the other side, the aesthetic part really pleases me. It's a very streamlined, elegant design that is timeless, done in a beautiful material and process of construction. It would kind of pay itself per wear. And once the trend has passed, it would still make sense in my wardrobe. But I don't know, there are so many other bags that are not going through this trendy moment that I don't know if I would be able to bring myself to invest in one. Next item, this one is everywhere. The Alaia mesh flats. I've talked about this in a previous video, talking about trends that I'm not adopting in my wardrobe. You can watch it here if you want to. And my mind hasn't changed. It can be Alaia, it can be ASOS. You cannot convince me to have mesh shoes in my collection. It's not a material that I appreciate. I think it is extremely trendy, so it will look dated. Mesh doesn't really communicate elegance, in my opinion. It might be trendy, it might be cool, it might be edgy if that's something that you want to add to a look, but I would much rather go for basic flats any day of the week. The Celine Triomphe sunglasses. I call these sunglasses the easy ticket to old money, quiet luxury aesthetic, because it seems that every time I look for these keywords on Pinterest, everyone is wearing these sunglasses. I get it. It has that very classic oval shape that screams rich girl from the 90s. Reminds me a lot of Meredith Blake from The Parent Trap. So it does have that ability to make you look fancy immediately. The brand has been trying to kind of revolutionize it in a way and give us versions that are a little less prissy. So they came out with a metal framed one that has turned into a new favorite of cooler girls. They also came out with an hexagon shaped one, which if you want something a little bit more artsy, a little bit more unexpected, there you go. But I love the classic ones. I wouldn't buy it just because my face is already oval, so it's not very complimentary to my features. But if you want to immediately look like a total glamorous girl, those are the ones to get. I totally approve of this message. Next up are the Adidas Sambas. I can't anymore. I've seen this so much, everywhere, all of the time. It's such a shame because I really do like the design of them. I love how light they are on the feet. I love how it's very simple. It's not chunky. It doesn't look like men's shoes. It doesn't look like something you would wear to the gym. But everyone and their mother has the sneakers. So it loses the appeal to me. And I think this kind of illustrates another phenomenon, which is when an excessively priced item becomes trendy. The trickle down in popularity becomes so much more explosive because it is a much easier item to get. We're talking about a brand that is not hard to find, that is pretty much distributed everywhere. So you end up getting a big presence. If you have them, I think they look great and I would totally advise you to keep wearing them. I would probably wait a few years until they're not trendy anymore and get myself a pair. The Chloé Hobo bracelet bag. Other than her ethereal ready-to-wear pieces, Chimina Kamali's first stint at Chloé has resulted in an it bag that really kind of gets its inspiration from one of Chloé's house codes that have been very popular in the past, which is the bracelet bag. I don't know if you guys remember the Nile, the Tess. They were sported by all of the celebrities back in the 2000s and 2010s. I'm not really into that hippie kind of bohemian aesthetic, but I do think that if that is your vibe, the Hobo is a much more sophisticated, much more grown up, much more confident design compared to those ones in the past. It's a bit more relaxed, a little less boxy, and I do find that requires a higher level of quality when it comes to materials. That kind of bended, folded, half moon shape that has a slouchiness to it, if done in a bad leather, becomes very evident. Also with the hardware as well. So if this fits your style, I would say go for it, but try and get the bag in a colorway that is a little bit more elegant, like the burgundy, the brown, the black, and I would shy away from colors like pinks and taupes, because then I find that it looks a bit immature. And I also really love that option that has the sort of shoulder strap with the big metal plaque. It looks very Schiaparelli to me, which is very chic. Another bag that has been everywhere is the Miu Miu Arcadie. I call it Arcadie because Miu Miu is Italian, so I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. Just like with Chloé, Miu Miu has been having its moment. It's been one of the hottest brands. They are responsible for that deconstructed, kind of preppy aesthetic we've been seeing everywhere, with the frayed edging, with the kind of cropped polo shirts, pleated skirts that are low-waisted, the rugby tees, those faded loafers. Anyway, it's another hit piece from Miu Miu's collection, and what do I think of it? I don't like it. I don't like the shape. I don't like the size of the logo compared to the size of the bag. I don't like the finishes. I also don't love that every front row and fashion show entrance from Miu Miu is filled with these bags, like everyone is carrying the same bag. But I also think this is one of those dangerous ones, because Miu Miu does have a more doable price, not cheap, but much more doable than a bag from the Row, for example. So you could find yourself spending your hard-earned money on one of these and end up not wearing it. So be very mindful and be very careful. Think about how you would style it. Think about, if you only had that bag, would you be happy? The answer is yes, go for it. To me, the answer is no. And the last piece are the Saint Laurent Slingbacks. If you're going for that femme fatale look, these are the shoes to get. I understand why influencers love these so much, because you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get that sexy kind of appeal from the stiletto heel, the slingback. It really just gives you that boost of height. You walk in a confident way, but it also has a design that is more angular, so it doesn't look too obviously like a stiletto. It will add an edge and a coolness to a look. I wouldn't add this to my wardrobe. I find that it looks almost aggressive. I would much prefer to go for another sling bag from Saint Laurent, like for instance the Cherish slingbacks in black and ivory. They are so pretty. They're a classic kitten heel sling bag that will not give you any trouble wearing. And maybe also the Carolines from Manolo. I think those are gorgeous. Again, is it beautiful? I can see the appeal, but does it fit my aesthetic? No. So I don't want it. I can appreciate it on other people. This is it, everyone. Hopefully I haven't offended anyone who has one of these pieces on their wish list or maybe already in their wardrobes. Everyone has their style, everyone has their taste, so take it with a grain of salt. This is just what I would do with my own money. I just wanted to exemplify how you don't need to follow what everyone else is doing to be happy with what you have in your closet. Let me know what you think of these pieces down below, because I am very curious to know your opinion as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see each other again next time. Bye bye.